Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the strategies for innovation. So just to remind you of some of the terms, there's categories of innovations, there's innovation strategies for design, and then we're going to talk about this one is strategies for innovation. And eventually we'll get on to the markets as well too. So if you remember, we talked about drivers for innovation, and that's kind of why people would do certain things or come up with that type of innovation. But this one is more about these type of strategies for finding an idea or how ideas are discovered in some way, and there's other specific things that can be done. These are kind of more actionable as opposed to the reason why. So I'll take you through these 5 different strategies. So actually, and including the market as well too. So these strategies for innovation of the market. But let's get started with these strategies for innovation. So there's 5 of these, and then there's these extra little 2 things. We kind of talked about these already, but I'll go over them again. So market pool, that's whenever some type of new product or idea is being created, and there's actually a demand for the product that's pulling the product to exist. So these baby-proofing houses, there's a problem. They figured we needed to add something for these corners. We needed to make sure babies don't get in. So there is this market for it, and they created the solution and made it and showed, all right, this is what needs to be done. So the market pulls the product into existence. So Kickstarter was an example of how that works too. Technology push. So this is where technology is pushed on consumers into the market. Sometimes a new innovation is put into the market and into people. So I like this cartoon. It simplifies a lot of tasks you never had to do before. So Steve Jobs was famous for creating these technologies that people didn't even know they needed. So he created these things and pushed these into the market. So that's technology push. So a market pull is when the pull is being put in, and technology push is when the push is being pushed onto the market. Okay, so just understand those 2 things when we're talking about new ideas being created. Active insight. So this active insight is kind of a eureka moment, like, oh, popped into your head, came up with this brand new idea. So it's an active insight. So here's a couple of examples here, but one of the ones was Velcro. So Velcro was actually created by a guy who was walking through kind of like a field, and in that field there were these little burrs that stuck to his pants as he was walking around. So that's what inspired him to create this loop and hook design that creates Velcro. There's lots of other things that you can find too that creates these active insights, these like sudden image of inspiration or ideas. Doesn't happen often, but sometimes it does. Another one is chance. So chance happens, things happen by chance. So there was no intention to make it, but it finally did happen. So Post-it notes, the guy was actually trying to create a super, super, super sticky glue, and he ended up creating this kind of not super sticky glue, and that's where Post-it notes came from. Just enough to hold things on, but not enough to secure it tight. Microwave, they're also trying to make long-range radars, but they ended up creating something that can actually heat up things. So those are by chance. It happened by accident. Adaptation, so you really need to pay attention to these ones, and I'll probably go over it in class again too. But adaptation is about the solution to a problem in one field that can provide an idea into another field. So for example, if we talked about ski jumps, so they looked at ski jumps, that was a solution, how the person in water could ski jump and fly off of a jump, and they try to use that in aircraft carriers. So they have a short amount of space, and they use that same solution for people to fly up and out to create for aircrafts. In the printing press, they used this kind of solution, or this could be a bit of a technology transfer too, but they use this solution of this wine press, so to press things down, and they put that into the printing press to be used in the same type of way for papers to be printed. So things are being pressed down like that. Okay, so pay attention. This word is the solution. The next one is analogy, and this is different too. This is an idea from one area that's transferred to another. So when you take certain ideas and more, this one is an idea of smoking, so smoking is bad with some type of ashtray that you dot in. So this is this idea of lungs was brought in to create ashtrays. This idea of a bone hook was brought in to create this is how the needle and thread works on machines. This idea of an ice cream was used for lights for both those ones. So remember, it's the idea. Adaptation is about the solution to the problem. Analogy is about an idea. And then the last one for this is about technology transfer. So it's taking certain ideas, technologies, methods of manufacturing, samples of industry, and putting them into another field. So for example, this foam, this super soft memory foam that you've seen in sofas or pillows or beds, and you take it from one field, you transfer it into another. So this is actually aeronautical, was used in different aircrafts and in space to be more comfortable, but then they transferred it into more consumers, and so that's their idea of transferring. This is a team that works in MESOT, and they use large-scale solar panels, and they actually transferred that ideas to smaller scale lighting and electrical power for places in Burma along the border. So taking these skills, knowledge, and technologies from big ideas and transferring them into smaller areas. Okay, so here's the definitions. Here's a list of these definitions. And what I would like you to do is find in groups, I'll let you work together, is to find different ideas, find different products and explaining how these are the strategies of innovation. Okay? If you have questions, please feel free to ask me, and talk to you soon. Thanks.